Welcome to the DVC-Rental and Buy and Sell DVC show. My name is Jason Erpelding. I'm the broker for Buy and Sell DVC. And with me is Scott Ferrioli. He's the owner of Buy and Sell DVC, as well as the owner of DVC-Rental. We plan to give you a weekly show helping you with possibly buying DVC, selling DVC, if you need to rent out your points or if you need to rent points. And since this is our first episode, we'd like to start with just telling you a little bit about ourselves. Again, my name's Jason. I was born and raised in Iowa. I graduated from the University of Iowa in 1997. And like most people, was not a fan of the winters. I had a friend in Orlando. I moved to Orlando. I soon began working for Celebration Fitness Center. When I worked for Celebration Fitness Center, I came across many Disney Vacation Club guides, and after associating with them, they told me that I needed to come and work for DVC. I soon began working for DVC as an ASA. That's the position as an advanced sales associate. Those are the people cast members that you see in the parks or in the resorts, and they're trying to get you to go on a tour to learn about Disney Vacation Club. At the time when I worked for DVC, the tour was taking place at the boardwalk. And I loved the position. And at the time when I was in training, I fell in love with Disney Vacation Club. When they gave us the introduction to DVC, how it worked, the flexibility, you can buy points. You can, if you just want to stay for 2 nights in the studio, you can do that. If you want to bring extended family and stay 5 nights in a 2-bedroom, the program has the flexibility to do that. You can use it every other year. You can use it every 3 years if you want. I just fell in love with the program, and I loved my role as an ASA. And I did that until I started selling resales in 2004. And then, I fell in love with that, and I've been doing that since then. When you get a family that's, they've been a member of DVC typically for anywhere from, 5 to 15 years, of course, now sometimes even longer, and maybe their vacation habits have changed and they want to sell their property. Well, I'm able to, provide them that opportunity to help them sell their property. And then you have families that are being exposed to DVC for the first time and they want to get into DVC. So, I get to help out, the family that needs to sell. And then we find the family that wants to buy a property, put the two together. And, I love it. And then as far as my favorite Disney Vacation Club resort, I would say that has changed over the years. Of course, when I first started working for DVC, it was the boardwalk that I loved the most because that's where I was at the most. I know we get to people in the pool with the clown pool, but
I'll leave the clown pool alone.
But I always loved that resort. I actually proposed to my wife on the boardwalk back in 1999. And then, before my wife and I had kids, we loved going to Vero Beach for 1 or 2 nights to get away from Orlando. Then once we had kids, it was Animal Kingdom with the Savannah view. That became our favorite resort because the kids loved seeing the different animals. And then I would say Bay Lake Tower is probably currently our favorite resort because let's say the kids want to go to Magic Kingdom on the weekend. You can stay there, get up, walk across the street to the Magic Kingdom, walk back. It's super convenient. All right, I'm going to give Scott a chance to tell you a little bit about himself.
I'll just add on to that. That's one of the great things about DVC is that, the way your family vacations changes over time. So, you'll like boardwalk and then you get on an Animal Kingdom kick and you want to experience the animals and you love the tranquility of the resort. And then all of a sudden you go to Bay Lake Tower and you're like, this is fantastic for location. It's just, there's always so many different options that DVC is an absolute great buy-in just because of that. And again, room types, we're not even touching on any of that stuff, studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3-bedroom grand villas. There's always something different and it's very, very flexible. But I digress a little bit. My name is Scott Ferrioli. I'm the owner of both companies. I've been a DVC member since 2008. My first resort I bought into was Saratoga Springs. mostly just for, honestly, the bang for the buck for the property. And it still has some of the best bang for the buck out there. But I started in 2008, and I started helping my coworkers rent rooms through us. So, like, we would book the rooms for them, and they'd save them a ton of money. Then in 2010, my wife was pregnant with our second child, and I decided to start this company because I've been helping so many people. I said, you know what, maybe I should try to do this. And started the company, and I worked both my regular full-time job and the DVC-Rental for a couple years, actually. And eventually, I decided that it was just way too much work, that the company was taking off too much, and that I just couldn't do both. So I left my full-time job, and I just ran DVC-Rental. A year or so later, we started buy and sell DVC, and it's gone up since then. I graduated from Rutgers in 1999. I had an economics degree. I was living in New Jersey, just like Jason. It started getting a little too cold. I'm from Long Island, New York, moved to New Jersey, and about 4.5 years ago, decided to make the move with the family down to Orlando area. So right now we live right behind Magic Kingdom, which is where we're filming from. And I've been absolutely ecstatic to live here. You know, we're following all our friends on Facebook, and everybody's got 1.5 feet of snow right now. And it's a little chillier today, where it's only going to be mid-50s. Again, that's a cold snap for here, but I'll take mid-50s over shoveling snow any day of the week. So why don't you lead us in, Jason?
Okay, so we're going to touch on the resorts a little bit each week, and this week we're going to focus on Bay Lake Tower, which of course is a resort across the street from Magic Kingdom. It's connected to the Contemporary. So the Bay Lake Tower opened in 2009. They offer studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and grand villas. The current annual dues are $690 per point. So meaning if you own 100 points, your dues for 2001 would be $690. And basically, you know, the reason that people, I think, fall in love with the resort is because of its proximity to Magic Kingdom. Just to give you a little insight on our most recent transaction at Bay Lake Tower. So we had a family that had bought in at Bay Lake Tower in 2009. You know, they said that they think they paid around $102 per point at the time to buy in. And then they loved the resort because of its proximity to Magic Kingdom. But then the time has come for how they vacation. Their kids are a little bit older. They're doing different things, so they wanted to sell their property. So they reached out to us, put the property on the market, and then we did find a buyer. The property ended up selling for $142 a point. So, I mean, just keep in mind that, I mean, it is kind of amazing that this family buys in 2009. You know, they use the points for 11 years. They go to sell it, and they get some of that money back that they spent on the vacations. I mean, really, that's really one of the great things about Disney Vacation Club is you're spending money on vacation. When you happen to sell it, it's an added bonus that, you know, the property sold for more than they paid for it, and they got that money back. And then the family that bought it was actually someone that had rented points from DVC-Rental. They had stayed at Bay Lake Tower. They were from Texas. They have 2 kids under 5, and basically they just stayed at Bay Lake Tower for 5 nights, and they went to Magic Kingdom, you know, for 3 days while they were here. And they just loved being able to, you know, get up, walk across the street to Magic Kingdom. If they want to come back and take a break, they can come back. They can take a break. They could go back to Magic Kingdom again. So now, you know, now they're going to enjoy the points, and then, you know, they can own it for as long as they want. Maybe they're going to own it till 2060. Maybe they use it for 11 years, and then they go to sell it for whatever reason. So, you know, from the resale side of things, that's pretty much the summary on Bay Lake Tower. I'm going to let Scott talk about the rental side when it comes to Bay Lake Tower. And then I do have a few questions for Scott in regards to that as well.
I'll just add on there, that's absolutely amazing that a family can go on vacation, take those discounted vacations for 11 years, and then sell the property, and it appreciates in value. I mean, what other timeshare has any chance of appreciating? You know, you go on eBay, you can pick up timeshares sometimes for $1 because people are just trying to get out of them. With DVC, I mean, that never happens. DVC has right of first refusal, which means they could buy back the properties. So that helps keep the value of the properties high. So as an owner of DVC, I mean, as a seller, as a buyer, it can be a little bit annoying if you're trying to buy it on the resale market. But when you're trying to sell your property, knowing that Disney is going to keep the values where they are, so you're not taking a huge loss when you go to sell them, is absolutely fantastic. But on the rental side, Bay Lake Tower is always one of the most in-demand hotels with the fantastic location, and it's the only resort that also offers guaranteed firework views, which is really, really nice. So it's in demand. So if you're looking to be a renter, you definitely want to try to book more than 7 months in advance. Once you're less than 7 months out, points can be used anywhere. So a lot of times availability will start dropping dramatically at 7 months. During the times we're in right now, there's a lot of cancellations because some people can't make their vacations. So you will see more availability than normal. So if you're a new DVC member, don't think it's always like this. Or if you're a renter, getting Bay Lake Tower 2 months in advance, which you can do right now, is not a normal situation. But
definitely not.
No, not at all. But great place to stay. If you're thinking of renting out your Bay Lake Tower points, definitely reach out to us more than 7 months in advance as well, because if it's less than 7 months out, your points are as good as anybody else who's in there. At any given point, with Saratoga Springs and Old Key West being the largest resorts, we could have 30,000, 40,000 of those points to rent out as well. So when it's more than 7 months out and a renter specifically needs Bay Lake Tower, that's definitely going to be the highest priority for you when you've got them available. Less than 7 months out, you're kind of lumped in with everybody else. So try to avoid that if possible.
And just to touch on that real quick, here's a question that we had from one of our friends on the DIB so this is from someone that wants to rent out their Bay Lake Tower points. So what are your thoughts on renting out a confirmed reservation? Is it usually more attractive than simply renting out your points?
Great question. We get it all the time. And a lot of this is also based on the current situation we are in right now. Normally, if you've got Bay Lake Tower points, and again, if they're good for more than 7 months in advance, keep them as Bay Lake Tower points. I would not, definitely they'll rent a lot faster that way. If you've got a confirmed reservation, but your points are still good for more than 7 months out, cancel the reservation, keep it as Bay Lake Tower points because they'll rent out a lot faster from us. If it's less than 7 months out and your points are going to go into the pool with everybody else, keep whatever reservation you have, especially if it's something that's more in demand, like a Bay Lake Tower reservation. But it's one of those things that it's definitely best to reach out to us and take it on a case-by-case basis, because sometimes the confirmed reservations can be better. Sometimes you definitely want to rent your points out.
Okay. So it kind of makes sense if someone made a reservation for 10 months in advance for a studio that they think they're going to go on, but then something happens and it's now 6 months in advance, that might be a case where it's better if they just keep that reservation. Yes. But if they made that reservations 10 months in advance and it's still 9 months in advance, it's probably better just to cancel it, put the Bay Lake Tower points up, and then
exactly. Plus, also some rooms rent better than other rooms. I think we have a question about rooms or no?
Well, yeah. I mean, so here's what is the availability at Bay Lake Tower under 7 months? And you can even address it 7 to 11 months, which I think you did with saying the studios fill up the fastest. But it's what fills up the fastest? Busiest time of the year? Is it Christmas, New Year's, Easter? Are there any other things that stick out in regards to busy times?
Big holidays, like Jason just mentioned, are always one of the ones that fill out fastest. First week of December always goes really, really quick. Everybody wants to be there because the points drop. The amount of points to stay in a room drop down once you hit December. So you've got a great time of year weather-wise to be here. Normally the parks have just started decorating for the holidays. Lower crowds. So first week of December into second week, but especially first week of December is always high demand. October over the past couple of years has become very high in demand as well, with Food and Wine Festival and the Halloween parties, bearing that they come back, next year. But those fill up further in advance. As Jason mentioned, studios are always the first ones to go. What's nice about Bay Lake Towers is 3 different views as well. They've got the standard view, cheapest option, which is always the first one to sell out. Then you've got the theme park view, which is a guaranteed view of the theme park. So you'll be overlooking Magic Kingdom, and when fireworks are going, you'll see the fireworks as well. And then there's the lake view, which is a really beautiful view overlooking the lake. Odds are you're not going to be able to see the fireworks, and it's the last one to go because it's the most amount of rooms, and it doesn't have the niche of the standard view, which is the lowest points, or the fireworks. So It's going to go standard, theme park, lake every single time. Studios rent out first. The last ones to always rent out are always, I shouldn't even say rent out, but the last ones to book from DVC members are the one bedrooms. So one bedrooms, really nice. They're up. This is through all property though. The one bedrooms are about twice the size of the studios. They've got the full kitchen, washer, dryer, whirlpool tub, much more room, king bed in the bedrooms. They're really, really nice, but they're also about twice the price / twice the amount of points as the studios. So typically they don't sell out as fast. They're always the last ones to sell out. So it really just depends, time of year, as you mentioned, and then what size room you're looking for and view.
I mean, I do like the one bedroom because I liked having
You'll
the
get
nice
spoiled.
size refrigerator.
I think you've gotten spoiled already
Yeah.
with them. The one bedrooms are nice. It's tough to go back to a studio once you've stayed in the larger rooms because it's so much. It's more like your home. The studios are nice, but you're in a hotel room where the one bedrooms and two bedrooms, it's luxurious and you can spread out and your family's not on top of each other. So they're really nice.
And now Scott is going to bring to you the food of the week.
Food of the week. So we decided that we're going to try to do this, try something, a new snack or so that I've tried in the past couple weeks. And today we're going to talk about the carrot cake cookie at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And that's why I wanted to ask my man behind the mic and the camera over there, Ty, if we're able to put a picture of the cookie in there. Maybe we can't. I'm not sure. He says we can. I don't want to be too much of a pain in the butt because I took a nice picture of the cookie that we got the other day. I'm sorry, Ty. He's smiling, but he hates me right now. So they got the big carrot cake cookie. Hopefully we're showing the picture right now. It's about that thick. And it's at the Trolley Car Cafe at Hollywood Studios, which is the Starbucks. It's a Starbucks area. They used to have it over at Writer Stop, and it was a thinner cookie and more like a cookie. This is more like a cake with a big, thick cream cheese frosting inside. It's $3.99. It was really, really good. I think I liked the regular cookie that they originally had at Writer Stop a little bit better. It was thinner and more like a cookie. This is like two little cakes on top of each other, but it's probably about that big and like that thick. So it's a nice size cake, and the three of us shared it.
Oh, wow.
So also, for a great deal, $3.99, and three of you can have a nice size portion of it. Definitely a good snack to have. We enjoyed it a lot.
Sounds perfect. And I think you even want to mention a little giveaway that's happening with this.
I'll do the giveaway right now. Okay. Since this is our first episode, and we're hoping that you guys have hung in so far, and I'm going to mention it as a giveaway, so at least I'm forcing you to hang in this far. So what we're going to do is, since it's the first video, once the video reaches 1,000 views, and we're going to be posting this on both the Buy and Sell DVC channel and the DVC-Rental channel on YouTube. Once they hit 1,000 views, we're going to pick a random winner to receive a $50 Disney gift card. All you have to do is put a comment in the comment section, and we'll randomly choose, we'll number all the comments and we'll randomly choose one. Feel free not to put mean stuff about how ugly we are or something, but just a random comment in there, say if you're enjoying it, if there's anything you'd like us to do. But any comment that you put on there, we'll randomly pick a winner, and they're going to get a $50 Disney gift card.
And like Scott mentioned, so it's going to be on two different channels, the DVC-Rental channel and the Buy and Sell DVC channel. So one thing I would mention in regards to comments is, let's say, you've heard people talking about renting points and, that's your interest right now. Then you'd probably want to go to the DVC-Rental and make your comment, because maybe you're going to ask a question. How do I, rent points, or what's the benefit of renting points, or where can I get information on renting points? And if you're thinking about possibly selling your membership or buying into Disney Vacation Club, I would try and do your comment on the buy and sell page so you can ask, how do I go about selling my membership, or, how do I, go about purchasing or making an offer on one of these listings that I see.
That's a great idea. And also I would say in your comments, if you've got questions, or, we're going to be sharing this on Facebook as well. So any questions you have, feel free to put down a question, and Jason and I might be able to address it in an upcoming video to help out a little bit.
And of course, we appreciate any feedback as well in the comments, whether you like, don't like.
Again, it's our first video, so we're going to get better, we promise. But right now, just trying to feel this out and see how this works.
And I just want to address real quick, the closing time frame when it comes to buying. And of course, there's probably viewers out there that have, bought and sold 8 properties over the years, and there's a lot of so-called veterans when it comes to Disney Vacation Club buying and selling. They know all about it. But of course, there's many people that are still being exposed to Disney Vacation Club every day. So I just I want to give you a little idea on the timeline in regards to buying Disney Vacation Club. Because if you buy something today, unfortunately, it doesn't close in one day. It's a transaction involved. So like here's a transaction that was, an offer was made on November 22nd. When you make an offer, of course, we have to reach out to the seller. The seller's either going to accept, they're going to counter, or they're going to say they're firm at their price. And a lot of times, if you are going to come to an agreement, it's usually going to happen that same day or within 24 hours. So this person made an offer on November 22nd. The offer was accepted on November 22nd. Everyone signed all the paperwork. It was sent to Disney for right of first refusal on November 23rd. And right of first refusal might be another thing that's new to you as well. When a buyer and seller come to an agreement, it has to be sent to Disney for, most people just say ROFR, right of first refusal, because if the price is too low or attractive enough for Disney, then Disney's going to buy it back. And then they turn around and add it to their current inventory. Now, I've been doing resale since 2004. I mean, if you look at the overall percentage since then, I would say, 88% of the time, the transaction makes it through right of first refusal. Number one, because sellers usually know what their property is worth looking at the different recent transactions and resale. So they don't usually accept an offer that's low enough where Disney's going to buy it back. But sometimes it does happen. So again, this was sent on November 23rd. Disney then waived on the right of first refusal 10 days later. Disney, normally they let us know on right of first refusal within 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes over the years, it's taken, up to 30 days. Sometimes it takes less than 10 days. And then after that, they have to provide what's called the estoppel information to the closing company. That's then when they prepare the final documents, sent to buyer and seller. And then at that point, the transaction closes as soon as the buyer has returned their documents and funds and the seller has returned their documents. So the documents on this file were sent to the buyer and seller on December 14th. The buyer returned their documents on December 16th. And then, and then the seller returned their documents on 1/6. The file closed on 1/8, and then the proceeds were sent to the seller on 1/8. So from start to finish, that one was made the offer on 11/22, was accepted on 11/22, and then it closed on 1/8. That's just to give you an idea of the time frame. Normally it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to close on a resale transaction, for a seller to get their funds, and then for a buyer to be prepared for Disney to set up their account and add their points to the system.
What sort of prices are we looking at for Bay Lake Tower right now?
So Bay Lake Tower right now, really, it's one of the resorts that seems to be kind of like a hot resort, I would say, because there's been a few buybacks that happened around 138 a point, okay. And then lately the prices have been around between 142 and 148 a point. The prices also determine, like, if you have a seller that has points left from 2020, which of course at this point is not always common, especially if you're looking at February or March use years, they might just have points currently available. But when you have the listings like an October use year and you have the points left, then some of those have been selling, like I say, between 142 to 148. And again, just keep in mind, like, if you see a listing, you can always, again, present an offer that's taken to the seller. They'll either accept, counter, or say they're firm at their price.
I want to put you on the spot for a second because maybe or I got a ballpark here. Do you remember exactly how much Disney's charging for Bay Lake Tower direct? Are they $225 a point, maybe? $235?
$235. We just got a little bird told us that.
So $235, and right now offers like $140-ish, give or take. So, I mean,
correct.
It's almost $100 per point less by buying it on resale than directly through Disney. So, I mean, there's a huge savings to be had. And all the listings on the website, they list the price that we're selling it for and how much cheaper it is than Disney at that same exact price. So there's a huge savings with going resales.
And Scott's just going to give you an idea on timeline. If you're going to rent points, what to expect?
Sure. With rentals, this is typically, we're recording this in February right now. This is typically one of our busiest seasons. And a lot of times we have so many rentals coming in that we just don't have enough points to keep up, and there can be a delay. Right now, we've got a lot of points in for rent because of the current situation. So typically, if you put in a request to check availability to see if the room's available, we reply normally within an hour, typically less, but sometimes it could be a little bit more. But within an hour, you normally have an answer if the room is available or not. Once you put in the booking form, we always say that take up to 24 hours because we have to contact the DVC member and they have to book the room for you. There are some DVC members where we have the login. There's a lot of DVC members we can reach right away. So I'd say on average right now, by the time you put in the booking form when you're telling us what you want us to book and the time we actually get the contract back to you that everything has been booked with all the information, it's typically 2 hours or less. Sometimes it's under 15 minutes. So things are moving along really smoothly right now. So it's really good time to be trying to get your Disney vacation. And the parks are fantastic at the moment as well. Everything's much lighter than normal.
So that pretty much wraps up our first episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. And remember, there's a giveaway. You can watch it on DVC-Rental page. You can watch it on Buy and Sell page. Leave a comment. Scott's going to pick a winner as soon as we get a total of 1,000 views between the two channels. And be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And we'll keep bringing you more episodes.
We appreciate you watching. And again, we promise to try to do better next time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.